These are the relatives of Mexico's disappeared. They're searching for mass graves where they believe their loved ones have been dumped by the cartels. Over 25,000 people have vanished in Mexico. These people belong to a Facebook group called I Will Search For You Until I Find You. They are the relatives of the missing, hunting for mass graves, trying to find their loved ones, but they're also part of a remarkable network using Facebook and other social media to find each other across Mexico, to seek closure and to put pressure on the government. Mario Vergara heads the Facebook group that has been searching for missing relatives in the hills of Iguala.
Son algunas fotos de nuestros familiares desaparecidos. Tenemos como 350 familias que tienen a su familiar desaparecido. Hay mucha gente que por medio de Facebook nos ha dicho, yo tengo un familiar desaparecido, tengo un familiar secuestrado, a mi hija se la llevaron.
The picture is of his brother, kidnapped 3 years ago and never seen again.
No lo habíamos visto toda la tarde, no había ido para mi negocio. Nos preguntamos con sus amigos, nadie nos dio razón. Desde que él desapareció, lo secuestraron, todos los días pensamos en mi hermano.
Mario got on Facebook after a horrific case last year in this same town. Millions of Mexicans tweeted in outrage after 43 students on their way to a protest went missing, probably murdered by cartels. He wanted to remind the world that thousands more are also missing, their cases often not even investigated.
Gracias a esos muchachos, todos los familiares de los desaparecidos salimos a la calle. Salimos a gritar que no eran 43 los que estaban perdidos, que eran muchos los desaparecidos.
These federal Marines weren't keen to be filmed. They were recently deployed to protect those searching for mass graves. But today, as on other days, because official investigating officers failed to show up, they let Mario and his group go up alone, unprotected, into territory ruled by the same cartels and armed gangs who may have buried their relatives.
Aquí inicia el área de fosas que tenemos detectadas.
We've just arrived at the site where many of these mass graves are. There are holes dug throughout this barren land, each of which contained a human being.
Ahí tenemos una, ahí tenemos otra, aquí otra.
67 bodies have been removed already. Another thing that really gets you is how close we are to town. And that tells its own story, doesn't it? Whoever buried bodies here wasn't that concerned to get too far away. Maybe not that concerned about what official forces would do. So here's a disturbing how-to guide, searching for a mass grave. Step 1. Check for soft, disturbed ground. Step 2. Hammer in an iron rod. Step 3. Smell the tip. If there are human remains there, you'll know.
Una falsa alarma.
Es negativo.
False alarm. You know, I have to say, the thing that really gets me about this is all of you have lost loved ones. So each time you dig, you must feel, gosh, this could be the one where I find my brother, my father. What is that like?
Deseamos de todo corazón que no sea porque queremos verlos de pie, vivos. Pero también tenemos la satisfacción de que alguno de los que nos encontremos aquí van a llegar a casa.
Her father disappeared a year ago, taken, she thinks, for a gang to use his knowledge as a former soldier, probably murdered since. With nearly 1,000 friends, Mario's Facebook page is part of a network that goes far beyond these hills. Scared families across the country are finding each other online. One of the connections brings you here, the new frontier of Mexico's wave of violence. And it's not the Badlands of the US border. It's an outlying area of the capital, Mexico City. Men, women and children have been disappearing from the streets of Ecatepec in increasing numbers. One was Siama Paz, 16 when she was kidnapped 5 months ago, from her own home after receiving threats online.
Desde ese día no sé nada. Todas sus cuentas, Facebook, teléfono, todo fueron borrados ese mismo día. El peor temor yo creo que de una madre, ¿no? El no saber nada y el pensar que le estén utilizando para muchas cosas.
The police did nothing for 5 months, she says. They only contacted the witnesses after a Facebook page she set up started getting popular.
Una página, una persona lleva por lo menos 100 contactos y esos 100 contactos, otros 100 contactos. Entonces para nosotros es esencial el Facebook, que son más ojos para poderlos localizar, para poder encontrar a nuestros hijos.
Her daughter's room is exactly as she left it, a shrine.
Every day I'm praying for her, my family, because I think she will be back. No puede ser así, puede terminar así.
She can't be dead.
No. Tiene muchos sueños por realizar.
In 10% of Mexico's missing person cases, it's local government officials themselves who are behind the crimes. That startling fact came from Julio Hernandez. He's the head of the government's new Victims Commission.
We have about 25,000 people that we don't know where they are. So
25,000 people.
25,000 in there.
That's a total crisis, isn't it?
Official numbers.
One measure being backed by President Enrique Peña Nieto's government, he said, was to create a new central command charged with tracking down the disappeared. Hundreds are going missing every week, every month. Is it going to change anytime soon?
I hope that. I really hope that. All we are doing here is trying to change that. I think that is the worst problem in Mexico.
The sharing of messages of solidarity online is no replacement for a missing daughter. But for the relatives of the disappeared, they bring something that they feel their government isn't yet providing: help in their search, and the belief that someone out there cares.